Imagine a life where your to-do list doesn't loom over you like a dark cloud, where you feel in control of your time, not a slave to it. What if unlocking this kind of productivity wasn't about radical overhauls, but about understanding a few simple, yet powerful, truths? That's precisely the journey we embark on today with Chris Bailey's insightful and incredibly practical book, The Productivity Project. Welcome to Visual Books. Today, we are exploring The Productivity Project by Chris Bailey, a book born from a year-long experiment where Chris meticulously tested productivity strategies, and now, is sharing the most impactful lessons learned. This isn't just another self-help book, it's a roadmap to a more focused, effective, and ultimately, more fulfilling way of living and working. We're going to dive deep, chapter by chapter, unpacking the core ideas, the compelling examples, and most importantly, the actionable advice that can transform your own relationship with productivity. Let's begin. Chapter 1, The Problem with Productivity. Chris kicks off by framing the very concept of productivity. He acknowledges the common feeling of being overwhelmed, of never having enough time, and the constant pressure to do more. He points out that our modern world bombards us with distractions, making sustained focus a real challenge. The core problem, he argues, isn't necessarily a lack of effort, but a lack of understanding about how to work effectively. We often chase the feeling of being productive rather than actual results. The actionable advice here is simple yet profound. Recognize that the pursuit of productivity is a personal journey, and what works for one person might not work for another. It's about self-awareness and a willingness to experiment. Chapter 2, The Problem with Productivity. Wait, another chapter on the problem? Yes, because Chris really wants you to understand the foundational issue. In this chapter, he delves into the why behind our productivity struggles. He talks about the myth of multitasking, how it actually drains our cognitive resources and reduces our output. He highlights the addictive nature of our digital devices and the constant ping of notifications that hijack our attention. He emphasizes that we're often working harder, not smarter, caught in a cycle of reactive busyness. The actionable advice from this chapter is to become acutely aware of your own distraction triggers and to start questioning whether your current habits are truly serving your goals. Chapter 3, A Year of Productivity. This chapter sets the stage for Chris's grand experiment. He explains that he dedicated an entire year to exploring every facet of productivity. He wanted to move beyond quick tips and delve into the science and psychology behind what truly makes us effective. He talks about the importance of not just trying productivity techniques, but of living them, testing them rigorously, observing the results, and drawing conclusions. This chapter is an invitation to approach productivity with the same curiosity and dedication that Chris did. The actionable advice here is to adopt a mindset of experimentation in your own life. Treat your productivity journey like a science project, set goals, try new things, and measure the outcomes. Chapter 4, The Value of Being Less Busy. This might sound counterintuitive, but Chris argues that busyness is often a poor proxy for productivity. He illustrates how we can feel incredibly busy but accomplish very little of consequence. He discusses the psychological trap of busyness as a badge of honor, where we equate our packed schedules with importance. He shares anecdotes of people who, by deliberately reducing their busy work, actually became more productive and fulfilled. The actionable advice is to actively identify and eliminate busy work, tasks that consume time but don't move you closer to your goals. Learn to say no to things that don't align with your priorities. Chapter 5, The Importance of Sleep. You might be surprised to find sleep discussed so early in a productivity book, but Chris makes a powerful case. He explains how insufficient sleep cripples our cognitive functions, our ability to focus, learn, problem solve, and even our emotional regulation. He shares research and personal experiences illustrating how a good night's sleep is not a luxury, but a fundamental prerequisite for peak performance. He emphasizes that sacrificing sleep for work is a false economy. You'll likely produce lower quality work and burn out faster. The actionable advice is to prioritize sleep. Aim for a consistent sleep schedule and create a relaxing bedtime routine. Recognize that adequate rest is an investment in your productivity. Chapter 6, The Power of a Minimalist Schedule. Here, Chris advocates for intentionally creating more white space in our schedules. He explains that a packed schedule leaves no room for spontaneity, reflection, or unexpected opportunities. He discusses how even small pockets of unscheduled time can lead to breakthroughs and a greater sense of control. He shares examples of how intentionally scheduling nothing can be incredibly beneficial. The actionable advice is to start by blocking out small chunks of unscheduled time in your calendar. See what happens. You might be surprised by the clarity and creativity that emerges. Chapter 7, The Importance of Focused Work. This chapter dives into the concept of deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. Chris highlights how our modern work environments are often designed to fragment our attention, making deep work increasingly rare. He explains that sustained, focused effort is where the most valuable work gets done. He provides strategies for creating an environment conducive to deep work, including managing notifications and setting clear intentions for your work sessions. The actionable advice is to schedule dedicated blocks of time for deep work each day. Treat these blocks as sacred appointments and protect them fiercely from interruptions. Chapter 8, The Power of Thinking About Work. This might sound a bit meta, but Chris argues that dedicated time for thinking, for strategizing, reflecting, and planning is crucial for effective productivity. He explains that we often jump straight into doing without first investing time in thinking about what to do and how to do it best. He suggests scheduling time for thinking about work as you would any other important task. This allows for proactive problem solving and more informed decision making. The actionable advice is to carve out time each week specifically for thinking, to review your goals, your progress, and to brainstorm solutions. Chapter 9, The Power of Planning. Building on the previous chapter, Chris emphasizes the strategic advantage of planning. He argues that a well-defined plan, even a flexible one, provides direction and reduces the mental overhead of constantly deciding what to do next. He discusses different planning techniques and the importance of aligning your plans with your overarching goals. He shares how even simple daily or weekly planning sessions can significantly boost effectiveness. The actionable advice is to implement a regular planning routine, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. Start small and find a system that works for you. Chapter 10, The Importance of the Nightly Routine. Chris presents the nightly routine as a critical buffer between the demands of the day and the restorative power of sleep. He explains that a consistent evening routine helps signal to your brain that it's time to wind down, improving sleep quality. He shares various elements that can be included, such as reviewing your day, planning for the next, and engaging in relaxing activities. The goal is to transition from work mode to rest mode mindfully. The actionable advice is to create your own personalized nightly routine. Experiment with different activities to find what helps you relax and prepare for a good night's sleep. Chapter 11, The Importance of Meditation. Meditation, Chris argues, is not just for spiritual seekers, it's a powerful tool for productivity. He explains how regular meditation can improve focus, reduce stress, and enhance emotional regulation, all critical components of effective work. He shares his own experiences with meditation and the tangible benefits he observed in his ability to concentrate and manage his emotions. He dispels the myth that you need to sit for hours. Even a few minutes a day can make a difference. The actionable advice is to try incorporating a short meditation practice into your daily routine. Start with just 5 minutes and gradually increase if you find it beneficial. Chapter 12, The Importance of the Morning Routine. Just as the nightly routine sets you up for rest, the morning routine sets the tone for your entire day. Chris emphasizes the power of starting your day intentionally, rather than being immediately reactive to your inbox or the demands of others. He discusses various components of a productive morning routine, from exercise and journaling to focused work on your most important tasks. The goal is to seize the day when your energy and focus are often at their peak. The actionable advice is to design your own ideal morning routine. Experiment with different activities and find what energizes and focuses you for the day ahead. Chapter 13. The importance of work rhythms. This chapter introduces the concept of finding your personal work rhythms, understanding when you are most energetic and focused, and structuring your work accordingly. Chris explains that we all have natural cycles of high and low energy throughout the day and week. By aligning your most demanding tasks with your peak energy times, you can achieve more with less effort. He encourages observation and experimentation to identify your own unique rhythms. The actionable advice is to pay attention to your energy levels throughout the day and week. Schedule your most challenging tasks for your peak productivity times and less demanding tasks for your lower energy periods. Chapter 14. The importance of understanding your energy. Building on the idea of work rhythms, Chris dedicates this chapter to the deeper understanding of our personal energy. He explains that energy isn't just physical, it's also mental, emotional, and even spiritual. He discusses how various factors, diet, exercise, social interactions, and even your environment, can impact your energy levels. By understanding what depletes and replenishes your energy, you can make more informed choices about how you spend your time and effort. The actionable advice is to become a student of your own energy. Keep a log of what activities boost your energy and what drains it, and adjust your habits accordingly. Chapter 15. The importance of the pace of your work. Chris challenges the notion that always working at full throttle is the most productive approach. He advocates for finding a sustainable pace, one that allows for sustained effort without leading to burnout. He discusses the benefits of deliberately slowing down at times, which can lead to greater insight, creativity, and ultimately, higher quality work. He uses the analogy of a runner who needs to pace themselves for a marathon. The actionable advice is to consciously adjust your pace. Some tasks require intense focus, while others can be approached more deliberately. Avoid the temptation to rush everything. Chapter 16. The importance of the place of your work. Our physical environment has a significant impact on our productivity. In this chapter, Chris explores how to optimize your workspace to minimize distractions and maximize focus. He discusses the benefits of different environments, from quiet, dedicated spaces to more dynamic settings, and how to choose what works best for you. He also touches on the importance of decluttering and creating a space that supports your mental clarity. The actionable advice is to critically assess your workspace. Make intentional changes to reduce distractions and create an environment that supports your most productive work. Chapter 17. The importance of the purpose of your work. Why are you doing what you're doing? This chapter delves into the profound impact of purpose on productivity. Chris argues that when we understand and feel connected to the purpose behind our work, we are more motivated, resilient, and ultimately, more productive. He explains that finding meaning in what you do can transform a mundane task into something significant. He encourages readers to reflect on the why behind their efforts. The actionable advice is to connect with the purpose of your work. Remind yourself of the impact you're making and how your tasks contribute to a larger goal. Chapter 18. The importance of thinking about the future. This chapter encourages a forward-thinking mindset. Chris discusses the value of strategic thinking and envisioning your future self. He explains that by considering your long-term goals and aspirations, you can make more effective decisions in the present. He advocates for setting aside time to contemplate your future and how your current actions align with that vision. This helps to move beyond reactive, short-term thinking. The actionable advice is to regularly set aside time to think about your future self. What do you want to achieve in a year, 5 years, or even 10 years from now? How can your present actions move you closer to that vision? Chapter 19. The importance of taking breaks. This might seem obvious, but Chris reiterates the crucial role of breaks in maintaining productivity. He explains that regular, intentional breaks aren't a sign of slacking off, but a necessity for sustained focus and creativity. He discusses the difference between passive breaks and active, restorative breaks that truly recharge you. He shares research on the cognitive benefits of stepping away from your work. The actionable advice is to schedule regular breaks throughout your workday. Get up, move around, and engage in an activity that helps you mentally reset. Chapter 20: The importance of dealing with distractions. Distractions are an inevitable part of modern life, so this chapter is all about proactively managing them. Chris provides a practical framework for identifying your personal distractions, whether they are internal or external. He offers strategies for minimizing and deflecting these distractions, creating a more focused work environment. He emphasizes that it's not about eliminating all distractions, but about developing the ability to return to your task quickly. The actionable advice is to create a personalized distraction plan. Identify your biggest culprits and implement specific strategies to mitigate their impact. Chapter 21: The importance of saying no. This is a critical chapter on setting boundaries. Chris explains that the ability to say no is fundamental to protecting your time and focus. He argues that we often overcommit ourselves because we struggle with the fear of disappointing others or missing out. He provides techniques for declining requests politely and effectively, allowing you to prioritize your most important work. The actionable advice is to practice saying no. Start with small requests and gradually build your confidence. Remember that saying no to something less important allows you to say yes to something more important. Chapter 22: The importance of organizing your life. Organization isn't just about tidiness, it's about creating clarity and reducing mental clutter. Chris discusses how an organized physical and digital life can free up significant mental bandwidth, allowing for greater focus and productivity. He shares practical tips for decluttering, establishing systems, and creating a sense of order that supports efficient work. The actionable advice is to take small steps towards organizing your life. Start with a small area, your desk, your email inbox, or your digital files, and build momentum from there. Chapter 23: The importance of the right tools. While tools are not a magic bullet, the right ones can certainly enhance productivity. Chris explores how to identify and leverage tools that genuinely support your workflow, rather than adding to complexity. He emphasizes that the most important tool is your mind, but that technology can be a powerful amplifier when used wisely. He advises against chasing every new app and instead focuses on finding tools that solve specific problems. The actionable advice is to evaluate the tools you use. Are they truly helping you? Are there simpler or more effective alternatives? Chapter 24: The importance of learning how to learn in a rapidly changing world. The ability to learn is paramount. Chris argues that learning is a skill that can be honed and that investing in your learning capacity directly impacts your long-term productivity and effectiveness. He discusses various learning strategies and the importance of being a curious and adaptable individual. The actionable advice is to actively work on your learning skills. Read widely, seek out new knowledge, and embrace the process of continuous learning. Chapter 25: The importance of reflecting on your day. Just as planning prepares you for the day, reflection helps you learn from it. Chris emphasizes the value of regularly reviewing your day to identify what went well, what could have been improved, and what lessons you've learned. This process of reflection allows for continuous improvement and helps you make better decisions moving forward. The actionable advice is to end each day with a brief reflection. What did you accomplish? What challenges did you face? What can you do differently tomorrow? Chapter 26: The importance of reflecting on your week. Taking the reflection process a step further, this chapter focuses on weekly reviews. Chris explains how looking back at your week provides a broader perspective, allowing you to assess your progress towards larger goals and identify any recurring patterns or obstacles. This weekly review is essential for course correction and for ensuring you're staying on track. The actionable advice is to implement a weekly review. Set aside time each Friday or Sunday to look back at your week, celebrate successes, and identify areas for improvement. Chapter 27: The importance of reviewing your year. Finally, Chris advocates for an annual review. This is a significant opportunity to zoom out and assess your progress over a longer period. It's a time to celebrate major achievements, reflect on significant lessons learned, and set intentions for the year ahead. This annual perspective helps to provide context and direction for your ongoing productivity journey. The actionable advice is to schedule an annual review. Dedicate a significant block of time to reflect on your year, your personal and professional growth, your accomplishments, and your biggest takeaways. Chapter 28, The Importance of Being Yourself. Perhaps the most profound lesson is that true productivity comes from aligning your efforts with who you are. Chris argues that trying to be someone you're not is ultimately unsustainable and counterproductive. He encourages embracing your unique strengths, preferences, and personality, and building a productivity system that authentically fits you. The actionable advice is to be yourself. Don't try to force yourself into a productivity mold that doesn't fit. Embrace your individuality and build a system that leverages your natural inclinations. Chapter 29, The Importance of Doing What You Love. This chapter connects productivity with passion. Chris suggests that when you're engaged in work you truly love, productivity often becomes a natural byproduct. He encourages readers to identify and pursue activities that bring them joy and fulfillment, as this intrinsic motivation is a powerful driver of sustained effort and high-quality output. The actionable advice is to identify what you love to do and find ways to incorporate more of it into your life and work. This passion will fuel your productivity. Chapter 30, The Importance of Being Human. Finally, Chris brings it all together with a reminder that we are not machines. He emphasizes the importance of self-compassion, understanding our limitations, and embracing the full spectrum of human experience. True productivity, he concludes, isn't about relentless output, it's about living a well-rounded, fulfilling life where our work serves our broader well-being. The actionable advice is to be kind to yourself. Recognize that productivity is a journey, not a destination, and that imperfect progress is still progress. The Productivity Project is more than just a book of tips and tricks, it's an invitation to re-evaluate your entire relationship with productivity. Chris Bailey's year-long experiment provides a deeply personal and scientifically grounded exploration of what it truly means to be effective. By embracing self-awareness, intentionality, and a commitment to continuous learning, we can all unlock a more focused, fulfilling, and productive life. Thank you for watching. If you found this summary helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Visual Books for more summaries, and share it with someone who would benefit.